And we're live. Welcome to the newly branded Redbird Redzone. My name is Will. I am, I guess, the host of this podcast unofficially. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. And joining me today is...
This is BirdGang559. You can follow me on Twitter also at BirdGang559.
And I guess today we'll just be discussing week 1 of the NFL season. Sorry we couldn't discuss the preseason weekends, and it's just we all have busy schedules, and it's just hey, we can't do a podcast if we're all busy, so it's like that sucks. But anyway, wow, I am totally prepared to eat crow here. We suck. We absolutely suck, and we're gonna go into why throughout the podcast. Led, you want to lead the way, or should I?
All right, let's just start off.
First things first. Bradford, rusty.
Bradford?
Very rusty. I don't think he belongs on a football team. I don't think he's shown any reason to be there.
Yeah, he looked very off on a couple of throws.
Like I kept dissing like Alex Smith and all of those fucking scrubs for
yeah,
because it's like, oh, they're fucking scrubs. They're not going to beat us. We're going to win because Alex Smith's going to throw a check down on a 4th and 24. It's like, no, him and Adrian Peterson actually fucking slaughtered us because, we couldn't get a decent offense going. What we had early on in the game with David Johnson was working. We had a few good runs down the field. I mean, we got like 2 first downs in the first half. I didn't even know that was something you could do, like that few. And I think like half of that was David Johnson. And it's just absolutely pathetic to see like football that bad. I haven't seen football that bad from us in a while.
Yeah, it was very bad.
David Johnson, for somebody who's gotten this much hype going into the season, I didn't see anything from him. I mean, he did good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he did all right, but he just.
But I would blame.
He didn't do bad. It's just they didn't give him anything. They didn't give him anything to do.
That's what I was going to
say. Somebody on the board I frequent posted his route tree like throughout the game and compared it to like say week 13 of 2016. And it's just like Mike McCoy gave him these fucking safe ass routes where he had nothing really going for him. And it's like, compare that to I don't even know who we had in 2016. Compare that to our offensive coordinator then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just night and day. It's pathetic how horrible our the routes we gave him were.
Yeah, I would say like back then that was Bruce Arians' offense, like our offensive coordinator back then, who was Harold Goodwin. He was more like an own coach. He didn't really like call the plays like BA did. So basically, that's probably why.
I mean, there was just a lot of plays where it's just I was just like struggling to understand why, like the logic behind it.
Yeah, I
like Arians' philosophy of no risk and no biscuit, while fucking arrogant as it is, it worked. Like deep passes down the field, like just breaking down a defense like that worked for a good amount of time. And I feel like if we had stuck with that could have been good. But Steve Wilkes is going like uber conservative now, and it's just boring.
Yeah, for sure, that made the game more interesting.
It's boring football and it's bad football.
Yeah, very very conservative.
Like look at like the Browns game the other day. I watched like the tail end of that. It's like I had more fun watching that than watching the entirety of the Cardinals game. It was
that game was
absolutely pathetic how bad we did.
Yeah, one of the worst games I've ever seen live.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And it's like that game was somehow even more entertaining, despite the fact that it was a tie.
Let's just talk about like the defense now, because they were very bad in the trenches. Like, they were beat on the line of scrimmage basically every play. It seemed like.
First thing to say about the defense: where was it? Where was our defense throughout in that entire game? It was just so. It was one of the most pathetic showings I've ever seen for our defense, and it's like after like the past 2 years, that's really saying a lot. Like to say, oh, this is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. That's a lot.
Yeah, usually the defense is pretty good.
I mean, it's like looking at. I know this is like probably a fluke, but like looking at like say the Cowboys game preseason, the way we absolutely tore them up. It's like seeing like message boards I was on, like going crazy how good our defense was. It's like it's like There's this guy, like my dad told me about this once. There was this guy in like the '90s who it's like, or sorry, there's our deal in the '90s. There, like people were like raving about it, and like on like an off year we were gonna have, and people were saying, is the D line that good or is our O line that bad? And it's like, hindsight 2020, our O line was just that bad. So I think the combination of playing against scrubs and just us being scrubs ourselves, but just slightly better scrubs. That's what elevated us in week 3 of the preseason.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why it's just preseason now. Now that we look back at it, it was just preseason because our defense didn't really perform in the regular season, week 1.
And it's like even in the preseason, our offense wasn't great. Like most of our.
That's why I noticed too. Like Mike McCoy, when like during the play calling, when the first teamers were on the field, Bradford, like most of the throws are just like
Bradford didn't even score a touchdown in the preseason.
Yeah,
wasn't it like Mike Glenn? No, Rosen was the only one. Rosen was the only offensive passer to get a touchdown.
Yeah, that's surprising.
You got to get. I know this is like way too early in the season to say, but you got to get to a point and wonder, why is Bradford even there? I know this is like really early knee-jerk reaction type speculative bullshit, but like, what kind of blackmail does Sam Bradford have on Steve Wilkes that put him on the field during week 1?
Well, I mean, of course, it's mostly rust because he hasn't played exactly probably a whole year because he only played week 1 last year against the Saints when he was with the Vikings. He performed very good in that game, but since he got injured after that, he hasn't been on the field.
And you can't even really blame like the injury on being like affecting his gameplay because it was a leg injury. You can't blame a leg injury for when your arm's not working well. I mean, if we could say that, then we could just blame every bad quarterback we ever had. Oh, they had a leg injury. Mike Lennon, he has a leg injury. But anyhow, there was somebody on a message board that noticed that our defensive line, all of that, they like switched out from first and second teamers like very frequently. Like that's usually something like colleges do. Like give the scrubs the scrubs some time and give the starters some time. I mean that's preseason bullshit. That's college bullshit. That's not something you usually do in regular season until it's like, okay, you're up by 40. Just put the fucking scrubs in.
Yeah.
No, we put like our second string D line in on after a commercial break, like when they were at our 5-yard line. And guess what happens to that fucking play? I mean, I think it was Adrian Peterson. He fucking runs in for a touchdown. Our run defense was just absolutely pathetic. Like Deion Buchanan. Holy fuck, man! What the fuck happened to him?
Yeah, like on Twitter, they're all talking about like he had like one of his worst performances in his career, from Pro Football Focus, like one of his lowest grades in his career.
Time should not be allowed to draft anybody. Hot take. I think that Steve Keim's drafting abilities is people look more at his successes than his failures. People see like, oh, he drafted Tyrann Mathieu, he drafted Budda Baker. Just drafts all
David
these,
Johnson.
David Johnson. Did he draft Patrick Peterson, or is that just my imagination?
Oh no, he wasn't the GM that time.
Yeah, true. And it's just you look at that and it's like that's great, but like where were you when he drafted like DJ Humphries or Robert Kimdichie or Chad Williams? I know that's petty to get on a third rounder, but come on, man, it's Chad Williams.
Yeah, I mean,
how is he our third string wide receiver when he didn't even catch he only caught like 3 balls last year?
I think he's our second string, which makes it even worse because behind Larry Fitzgerald, I saw a stat from the game.
No, I'm like 99% sure it's JJ. Hold up.
No, I don't think so. But I saw a stat from the Redskins game, like on any
holy shit, he is. Jesus Christ.
Any receiver besides Fitzgerald against the Redskins game only had like a catch for 4 yards or something. I saw a stat like that, so I was kind of bad.
Yes, it's just frustrating.
I mean, the blame is not only on like the receiving core, but also the play calling. Like we were going 3-and-out basically almost every drive until like the fourth quarter.
And it's like I have a teacher who's like a huge Cowboys fan. I'm I'm ragging on him for losing to the Panthers, and it's like I have to like pretend that I'm not dying inside because we lost to the fucking Skins. So
Yeah.
that was fun.
I mean, as Cardinal fans, we shouldn't really talk because, well, I mean, this game we were just pathetic. Like it was one of the worst games.
It's
one of the worst performances.
Yeah, it's rough to be a Cardinals fan. Like today.
Yeah.
There was a guy at my work who was like, "Oh, it sucks to be an Eagles fan." It's like, dude, I'm a Cardinals fan. It sucks more for us. His argument is like, "Oh, we've been closer to success, so it sucks more that we didn't get that success." But I think it's worse to be like inept most of the time than just be that close to the success. Because it's like, at least you guys got that close, man.
Yeah.
Like y'all have a ring now, at the least.
Like I mean, I guess it's good. Like when the Cardinals do bad, they like go under the radar because no one even like cares about them. So even when they do bad, no one really pays attention to it.
It's just frustrating, like seeing my team do this bad because it's like I know we're not like Buffalo Bills bad.
Yeah, they're.
I know we're
bad.
not that.
Yeah,
we're like at the very least we're like Indianapolis Colts bad. We're Cincinnati Bengals bad. We're not. Oh God, Jesus.
We're not at that Buffalo level yet.
I'll never quite get this. Why is like Ricky Seals-Jones so hyped when it's like he only had 2 good games last year and they were both against garbage teams with like.
I mean, that's pretty good, but I mean that's probably because how Gabbert was he was like the third string, and then Seals Jones was third string, so they had like chemistry coming through, like working on the scout team, basically like that. Sure. They have chemistry together. I guess that's probably the only reason he looked good last year. But I mean, this year
it's just like Jermaine Gresham is by no means a good tight end, but like why isn't he? Is he like injured or something? Like what happened?
Yeah, I think he is injured, but. I mean, when I checked the depth chart at the beginning of the season, he was like listed as third string or something. But he's injured.
Looks like he's injured. How did David Johnson get injured?
When this year?
He just got injured, apparently.
He's on the injury report or what?
He's questionable for the next week.
Nah, I wouldn't make a big deal of that. I think I'm pretty sure he's gonna play.
Sure. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that until today. It's like, oh shit, that sucks. So, how long have we been on air? We can't have been on air that long.
Nope, probably around 15.
Let's see. Special teams was good because we had to punt the ball for every fucking play, like every other play. One of the most pathetic one of the most pathetic things about the Ravens is that they do like a team MVP thing like every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know how there's we're gonna have the NFL MVP. Ravens do their own thing. They have their own MVP. Guess who's been winning MVP for them for like the past few years? Justin motherfucking Tucker. Their kicker is considered their MVP. And it's like that's how I felt about Andy Lee throughout that entire game.
Yeah, he's a pretty good kicker, and Andy Lee's the GOAT.
Yeah, our special teams got a lot of action, so that's good. That's not backhanded at all. But anyway. So I mean we just didn't take a lot of risks. I feel like Mike McCoy played a kind of offense we're not used to. I feel like switching from the 3-4 to the 4-3 is just not working out at this point. I don't think I felt like it was an unnecessary change just for the sake of it. Like you're putting the guys who are used to a 4-3 a 3-4 into a 4-3. And it's like that doesn't work. I don't care about your personal preference. If you're gonna do something, like do it on the terms that the players already know it.
Yeah.
Don't
like
be
try to
basically don't fucking just don't do your own thing. Just do what works. Like one of the things coming out of training camp, people were like the players were saying is like, oh, the coaches are letting us have a hand in like creating playbooks, like crafting whatever. And it's like if they're creating the playbooks, the players are. It's not a good playbook. Don't let them do that. It's like if you know what you're strong at, great. Do what you're strong at, but it's like don't. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. It's like it was absolutely unnecessary given the performance of the field we had, and it's frustrating. And Sam Bradford's just this incompetent fool with nobody really good around him, like other than like two pieces.
Yeah.
And, I mean, no good offense has only good two. Like three good pieces. Honestly.
Yep.
I mean,
I
the
feel like we
exception
should
to the
just
rule
start-
is. The
We should
exception.
just start Ben Fitzgerald and David Johnson. I guess that's like our last resort. Just start throwing it only to those two, kind of like what we did with BA.
The only real exception. The only real exception to that rule is like the Patriots, but that's only because they have so many goddamn moving parts that everybody is expendable at any time, and nobody should ever feel like confident, like, oh hey, I've got this job forever. I play for the New England Patriots or whatever, because that's not how it works out for most of the time. So week 2, we're playing the Rams. How badly are we gonna lose?
Pretty bad, I think. Pretty sure someone's going to get injured because the Rams always injure our players.
Well, yeah, but will it be Sam Bradford or will we get unlucky?
I mean, hopefully it's someone that it's not really important to the team.
I don't usually like want bad things to happen to players because that's fucked up. Why would you ever wish that? But Ndamukong, you're already saying you're going to murder Bradford. I feel terrible for saying. I feel terrible for saying this. If it gets us Rosen quicker, go for it, man. Like shred those knees. Oh Lord. Jesus, I just asked Ndamukong to murder my quarterback. Rest in peace, Sam. But so I think it's the Seattle game from like 2012 times 20.
Relax.
I mean, it's just I have no faith in the Cardinals to win this.
Yeah.
I have no belief that they're going to do anywhere near decent in this game. We're going to lose.
Hopefully they perform better than they did against the Redskins, but I mean that's probably not going to happen.
That's not a high bar. I mean that's a low bar. I mean that's a low bar to jump over, but we're still going to fuck it up because we're playing the Rams.
Yeah. Like I don't expect the Cardinals to win this against the Rams, but hopefully at least if they give better performance, I'll be happy.
It was. I mean, it's like it's. I think that a grueling, under 20 points loss is worse than a blowout because it's like you look at like something like our game that happened, and I see like it's just 18 points. It's like you could few more things go our way, we have a shot. We might win. And it's just that just didn't happen. And I've honestly like there was a point like during the game, like people are gonna call me like a fair weather fan or some absolute bullshit for this. But there was like a point in the game where it's like I don't know if I want to watch football anymore.
Yeah, I was like I didn't want to I didn't really pay attention during the game anymore because I was like, well, we're just getting crushed. Like, why am I watching this?
Yeah. So and it's like looking at that and like looking at everything that's been happening. Like I don't feel confident in this team to win as many games as I thought they would this season. Granted, my expectations were like fucking biased and homered as shit, but like
same.
Like especially so now because it's just oh good lord, what was I thinking? Oh, we're gonna go fucking 9-7. What the fuck? Our schedule is like crazy hard, so it's like I don't know how we thought that. So
like we're really lucky to even win 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into some more depth. Our receiving core was non-existent.
Yep.
Like I feel like, for as much as we relied on Bradford throughout the game, he didn't get anything done. Like Fitzgerald was the only person who got like, a lot of touches. Like as you said earlier, like the rest of our receiving core only got one pass, like one completion throughout the game. And it's like part of me likes to think that that's not like, oh, he didn't target him. Part of me, I actually don't remember a lot from the game. I just remember enough to do this episode.
Yep.
But part of me likes to imagine like, it's not like, oh, they didn't just throw him his way. It's like, no, part of me likes to think, oh, Sam Bradford just missed every target, and they just had to improvise that shit. So clearly, Bradford dies either week 2 or 3. We'll have a funeral and mourn him. It'll be super tragic. Everybody will be there. John McCain rises from his grave to say, "Oh shit, Sam, I'm really sorry. I had to sacrifice myself so we could save your season." But like looking at our schedule, it's like, let's see, we're playing Los Angeles and Chicago 2 times, like back-to-back weeks, and that's just a nightmare. And then a few weeks later, we're playing the Vikings, and it's like looking at our schedule right now, like I know this is like looking at this, I'm still doing that homer aspect where it's like the homer mindset where it's like, yo, we could win everything, man. We've got this bullshit. But it's like looking at our schedule, it's like we're playing, other than the Bears and Rams, we're playing the Seahawks, the Niners, the Vikings, and the Broncos. And I think those are all winnable games if we just get our shit together. We just need to get our shit together. We can start 0-3 and still head out at go 10-6 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one game so far, so I mean, a lot of things can still happen. But based off this performance, we're not really hopeful at the moment.
So, looking at our schedule, I think we beat Denver and Oakland in the AFC West stretch. I don't think Kansas City or Los Angeles is a safe bet right now.
Yeah,
because it's both of those are messy. Green Bay, we still haven't won at Lambeau ever.
Yep.
Apparently that we've never won at Lambeau.
I mean, they hardly even play there anyway, but even when they do, I mean, they're going.
It's Lambeau. It's also Lambeau in December too. That's a rough environment.
Yeah.
If we were playing Lambeau, Lambeau in October. It's like, yeah, sure, we could probably win that. But playing in early December, that's no bueno.
Especially when the players aren't used to that environment.
Yeah, it's just it's funny looking back at old Homer me, thinking oh, we have a shot against the Panthers, and
Oh yeah.
a few years ago when we were in the NFC Championship. We can't play worth a damn in cold weather, but damn it, we'll beat the Panthers all right. And a few days earlier, there's fucking snow on the horizon or whatever, and it's oh no, we're gonna lose. But so that's probably enough rambling about our schedule.
Yeah.
So do you have any thoughts? Do you have any final thoughts or whatever?
Hopefully Rosen comes in week 2, leads us to a comeback victory over the Rams.
He does what he did with UCLA and just comes back 38 points to win. Jesus. My final thoughts are, I know this is just Homer me coming out, but I think I know our team has potential. I know our team has shown capability in the past, and it's our O-line is basically interchangeable at this point, but we still have a decent enough O-line. One thing I'll give the team credit for, Bradford didn't get sacked a lot during the Redskins games, which really surprised me, because it's looking ahead to the season, it's I looked at the O-line and I didn't think we could hold off anybody. I didn't think our O-line would be any good.
Yeah.
Granted, he didn't do anything with that. He didn't put up a game to match the amount of how little he got sacked, but it's kudos to the O-line for actually holding strong at the Washington defense. It's just a shame that we couldn't do anything else against them.
I would say mostly because of the short passing. That's probably why the Redskins didn't get much sacks on us.
Well, that I don't know. I'm just trying to find the bright side here. David Johnson looks relatively solid. I hope he's able to play against Los Angeles.
Yeah, hopefully he has at least 20 touches, because that's what he should be getting.
How many did he actually get?
I don't have the exact number, but I've seen around 10.
He got 9 touches for 37 yards.
That's not good for someone that's being paid this money.
Yeah, and it's like we just extended him to like this fucking amazing ass contract, and we give him that shitty ass deal. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
it's frustrating. But yeah. So I mean, you know, Bradford sucks ass. Please die. David Johnson, he's solid. O-line solid. Larry's still playing decently.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk, the little we saw of him was okay.
He had a nice return.
Our run defense is horrid and should never be trotted out. Our run defense, but it's not saying much. Goal, the other one of the earlier hosts in the podcast, I played him in fantasy, and he picked David Johnson #1, and it's like I've been dissing him for losing in fantasy all week because I beat him. Hold up, I'm gonna pick up I'm gonna get the exact score here because it's just brutal. I beat him last weekend. I beat him 203.64 to 109.48. That's almost 100 points, man. And it's like I had Kamara, fucking Tyreek Hill, and just like I had
Tyreek Hill went on.
But yeah, rest in peace, Gold's fantasy team. They're gonna lose every game this season. Sorry, Gold, if you're listening. Yeah. So offense needs work. Defense, especially the run defense, needs work. So I think that about wraps things up. Short episode this week, but we didn't prepare this well. But we'll hopefully see you again next week to discuss the brutal onslaught. the brutal slaughter that the Los Angeles Rams are going to give to us.